Your brother Zoe Williams is on deck. You already know what you got to do. You got to hit the like button. You got to hit the share button. Let's get this thing popping. Nazarene X. Like this video on your way in, family. Let's get into it. Tonight's topic is going to have the entire nation shaken up. You better believe it. All right, so don't be afraid. Don't be afraid. Look, don't be afraid. Do not be afraid. Participate. Hit the like button. Hit the share button. Get people involved. Pass this video on. All right. Peace, chat. Yeah. Can y'all hear clearly? Can you hear clearly? Hey, so I'm calling your show, 'cause I need to know. Show me which way to go before I throw my man out the door. Okay, hold on a second, Keisha. Just let me ask Ronald exactly what's going on, because it takes two to tango, and I need to hear his side of the story. So she's driving me insane, got stress heavy on my brain. She keeps playing silly games, man, I'm about to be the pain. We seem to fuss and fight every day and every night. Please give some advice so we can see the light. See the light.
Is marriage for white people? That's the question being asked by an author of a new book. Is marriage for white people? How the African-American marriage decline affects everyone. It's got a lot of people talking right now. Stanford law professor Ralph Richard Banks says it's time for black women to, this is a quote, give up the good fight on marrying a black man. Here he is.
The way I think of that is that women have been asked to carry a great load. Black women shoulder a lot of the burden, in short, of black men's struggles. And I am asking women to put the burden down. Many women think that they're attracted to black men. They are attracted to black men. But attraction itself is complicated. And one of the things that I discovered in the course of writing this book is that there's a whole host of fears and desires and anxieties that animate black women's attraction to black men.
Okay, Banks recently wrote an article in the Wall Street Journal and said that 70% of black women aren't married. That's roughly true. Okay, so is it time for single, educated, and working black women to just forget the notion of marrying a black man and look outside their race? A new Gallup poll shows more and more people are receptive to the idea of interracial marriage. In 1968, the numbers were quite low for whites approving of interracial marriage. This is a Gallup poll from USA Today, but today those numbers skyrocketed for both blacks and whites. So does the author have a point? Is the black marriage nearly obsolete? Is the idea just for white people? I have a black couple here who says, hello, I'm right here. Looking forward to talk about this. As Lamar and Ronnie Tyler.
Wow.
Boy, people crazy. And the voice of reason is going to deal with the insanity tonight. You already know it's the start of the week, and I got to come in here with hot lava, especially after Les Brown was cooking. He said it's about you. You know what I hate about those little studies? And I don't care where you study. What I don't like is when you don't add the spiritual component. And that's the weakness of Western education. It's linear. It's not spiritual. And yes, relationships are more spiritual than they are social, right? And a lot of people don't understand. Yes, the social piece is important. Where you went to school, your education level, your career, and I get it. You got to be set up. You got to be right. But I will say one thing that he said that was true, or maybe it's not true. But before I even get to that, I got a guest in the building right now. Tonight's topic is going to be crazy, man. Oh, Lord. We're going to keep the fire going from last week. Tonight's topic, from a man's point of view, a deeper look at the so-called rise of the Neander Negro and his outdated black manhood beliefs. The Neander Negro, is he somehow limited in his ability to interface effectively in society? I don't know. But we want to talk about black manhood and how black men interface with black women in relationships. Is there a Neander Negro? I don't know. I don't think so. I don't know. You tell me. The number to dial is 1-800-920-1580. How wide? I want y'all to listen now. How wide is the emotional skill level gap between men and women? Black men and women. Is there this chasm? Women on one side, men on the other? What are some of the things men dislike about women? What brothers? Call in and tell me, what are some of the things you dislike about sisters? 1-800-920-1580. I guarantee you, I don't want to give away what I want to say early. Do many black men suffer in silence when it comes to undisclosed mental health issues? Do many black men suffer from the victimhood archetype? Yeesh. Got some real questions here tonight. I like the way Colin Tippin put it. Colin Tippin is the author of a book called Radical Self-Forgiveness. He says our spiritual evolution depends heavily on our recovery from our worst addiction, our addiction to the victimhood archetype, which traps us in the past and saps our life energy. The inner child represents nothing but a metaphor for our woundedness and a cutesy form of victim consciousness. The inner child, Colin C. Tippin, are many black men suffering from the tyranny of their inner child, which projects victimhood? Talk to us today. Look, my homeboy joined us. Last week we had a lot of sisters in the building. And I want to talk to my brother. He's the author of, give me your book, man. He's the author of, I love the title, Unsolicited Dating Advice from an Unqualified Source. The best dating advice you never asked for. Tony Massey. Tony Massey was a guest on my television show, and he's an amazing guy, very intellectual guy, very smart. And I wanted to bring him in because we had such beautiful feminine energy on the show last week. I wanted to counterbalance that with the man's energy. From a man's point of view, a deeper look at the rise of the so-called Neander Negro. The Neander Negro. Tony, get it. Man, welcome to the show, brother.
I was close.
The Yeah.
Well, first and foremost, I'm honored to be here. I've watched. I'm a fan of this show, so to even be sitting here with with what I think is one of the great minds of our social order, especially for Black men, is more than a privilege. I don't know if I should be here tonight.
It's too late.
I'm here.
I done stirred the pot now.
Sir. Yes, sir. It's so funny that you sing about that shoe and then the trickster. And
That's
then,
what he does.
And then play that video.
But hey, he opens the way for broader understanding. Absolutely. And sometimes he got to trick you.
Yeah.
So, again, you're aware of it. We see it in the lounge.
We do.
And we had that huge discussion in the lounge the other night, right?
Yeah.
Where it was really an all-out brawl that I started, and then I left.
As you do.
I started the brawl, and then I went, right? But some real stuff came up.
It did, yeah.
Right? And it's not that, I don't like using the term gender war. But what are Black men doing to push this gender war? What are we do? Are we devaluing sisters? And I've heard sisters say this.
Yeah.
Like, we devalue them. In what ways?
Yeah. I don't know that Black men devalue women or Black women to the degree that I think some Black women think they do. I think that the value that Black men are having trouble with is the value within themselves.
Come on.
This whole idea of bringing something to the table. This proverbial table has been just tripping us up for years, man. And the funny thing is, most of us don't even eat at the table no more. You know? We're so worried about what's on the table. Meanwhile, we got a TV stand in the living room watching the game. You know, so no, I think that the topic is pointed because I do believe that we have to deal with the Neander Negro. Because
you uncomfortable saying it, ain't you?
I am. I don't want to slip up, you know. But I do. But when you look at the term, we're talking about something that has evolved, right? And I feel sometimes, not all the times, and I don't want to use absolutes, but sometimes I run into men who have not evolved. They're still using a mindset or even an archetype, a caricature, whatever, that is antiquated. This idea of hyper-masculinity being a necessary component of manhood, I could see how that could feel like women are being devalued, because I think there are so many men who are still trying to find their own value, right? They're trying to figure out who they are in the world and how they function.
Where do men get their value from?
Unfortunately, a lot of us get our value from women.
Are we supposed to get it from women?
No, we're supposed to get it from other men. We're supposed to get it not just from other men. I think we're supposed to get an example from other men. But the value that we bring to society as a whole should come from within, in my opinion. Like, I often say that men have been taught to be useful, and when their usefulness goes away, then they start to question the validity of their presence.
What am I here for? Their purpose,
Right.
the whole 9 yards.
You got to get after your purpose. You have to be on your grind. You have to be purpose-driven. And I have no issue with being purpose-driven, but what about those who have not found their purpose yet? What are they doing?
Go back to the point. They're supposed to get it from other men.
Yeah.
I would just add the suffix "tors."
Yeah, absolutely.
Mentors.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And mentors are mirrors.
Yes. Mirrors of not just what I am projecting, but what I hope to one day project.
Yes.
And unfortunately, so many of us are looking into very distorted, dirty mirrors. And we're trying to emulate what we see instead of just cleaning the mirror and finding a better projection of ourselves.
What distorts the mirror?
I think they, you take a situation, you take the situation that we've all been in over the last 400, 500 years, and we're trying to develop an identity out of all of this, right? But our identity and has changed drastically from, you know, slavery to Reconstruction to Jim Crow to even now 2023. And so what we're forced to do is we're forced to look at men based on what they've gone through instead of what their potential is. And what I mean by that is you take a brother who's fresh out of jail, right?
Right.
You know, socially, that brother should be digging himself out of a hole.
Right.
A social hole.
Right.
Because he's either committed some crime or been convicted of committing some crime. And now he has to bring himself back to a place where he can socially function within the society that he was torn away from. Instead of allowing him that journey, we tend to elevate him beyond his station and then celebrate what he's gone through instead of celebrating what he's come through. And what I mean by that is, you know, we're throwing parties for people who are getting out of prison. But we're not celebrating the person who gets out of prison and then does something. So we need to blow out, you know, pop the balloons, blow out the candles. Let's wait for this brother to actually do something. And then, yes, let's party.
We celebrated him coming out.
That's it.
But we don't know what came out with him. When we come forward, the voice of reason and Brother Tony Massey gonna keep cooking. Wow. There we go. The Neander Negro. Yeah. Come on, man. Y'all better hit that super chat. Show your love for this one.
One family, one day, $1.
Yeah. They loving it too. They in here. Man, y'all gotta share this mug. Share it. Share it. Share it. Share it. Hey, Mimi, he married though, because Mimi gonna ask you, how tall is he? How tall is Tony? See, here she goes. Zo, Tony looks good, and he's smart too. Mimi, stop it. I told you she was gonna start typing. He married. Absolutely.
Wallace T. Russell was a leader.
Somebody said I was about to tell her. Mimi, soon as somebody, he look good. I know Bowman is about. I already know. 1-800-920-1580. Get to your phone lines. Y'all know.
And retired after 32 years at LADWP.
Y'all bullshitting on the calls. Let's go. We 19 minutes in. Let's go.
Planning, Regulatory, and Innovation Division. Mr. Zodu manages the community-driven effort to engage communities of color in designing programs that will help achieve equity and a 100% carbon-free energy future that better serves all communities.
Let's go. Everybody hit that like button. Let's get the likes to match the amount of people in here. Wake up. I know it's Monday. Let's go.
Visit us online at joinladwp.com.
Hi, this is Tavis.
Harris, this is Dr. K. We've got a lot to talk about. I'll be in town on the 28th of February. Can you clear your calendar?
Absolutely, Dr. King. Good Lord, do I have some questions for you, sir. Hi, it's Tavis.
Oh, you on my channel now. They wilding in there. All right, Tony is in the chat. Tony Massey is in the chat. Mimi, don't holler at Tony Massey.
No, sir. No, sir.
What happened to George Floyd shouldn't happen, not even to a dog. How long must the Negro continue to endure this foolishness at the hands of law enforcement? People can take but so much before they reach a breaking point. What do you mean, Black Lives Matter? Black lives haven't mattered in this country since Negroes stopped working for free at the end of slavery. You ought to be talking about Black Guns Matter and start your own NRA. Call it the Negro Revolutionary Amalgamation.
Don't miss this compelling historic radio event, The Return. When Tavis Smiley converses with Malcolm.
They silly. They in here tripping. Tiffany, get on the phone lines.
Exclusively on KBLA Talk.
I want to hear from y'all.
You know you want some more. It's the voice of reason with Zoe Williams on KBLA Talk 1580.
Ladies and gentlemen, you're listening to the smooth sounds of Moonchild. The name of the track is called On To Me. We had to set the tone for tonight. Tonight's topic is crazy. And I know a lot of people are struggling with it, man, but tonight's topic is, we have to do these types of topics, especially after the sisters came in here last week and they really cooked. Can a black man still lead his household and his woman in 2023? We have to ask these questions. Do most men have to have a go along to get along kind of mindset with today's modern woman? Is disagreeing with a woman and her worldview the same as hating on her? You can't hate on her truth nowadays. It's her truth. Does he have a truth? I'm just asking. 1-800-920-1580. Somebody get in here and talk to your brother. True or false? Some men just want to talk to women just enough to get some. Is that still part of the equation, or are women a little bit more savvy nowadays? I want to know, is the Neander Negro on the rise? I got my brother in here today, author, chef, brother Tony Massey. He's already cooking. Phone lines is on fire tonight. Tony, can the brother still lead?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. First of all
you gotta do is look at you.
Well, I mean, I think what we have to understand is that leadership is not predicated upon followership. And what I mean by that is we're so focused on who's following us as men. There's so much information, so much energy being pointed to what women should be doing. And I'm of the opinion that if you're doing what you're supposed, if you have somewhere to go, and where you're going is interesting, then I'm going to follow you. But if you're too focused on looking back at what I'm doing, then we're not really going anywhere, right? So turn around, stop focusing on me.
How about that?
And focus on where you're going. And if where you're going is interesting, then inspire me to follow you. Don't force me.
So do you think most black men have a misunderstanding of the word leadership
Absolutely.
in relationship?
I think most black men have a misunderstanding of the word leadership.
Period. Talk to me about it.
And this is not me bashing men. Let me make that very clear. I am not one of these cats that go out and say, men are all messed up or anything like that. But we do have to understand that for decades now, there's been a huge gap in there being a man that allows us to universally follow him,
right?
Based purely on not his politics, not his belief system, not his religion, but just based on his principles and his character
and his presence.
That's it.
That's it.
Yeah. I mean, you didn't have to necessarily agree with Dr. King, since that commercial just played, but you had to respect the way the brother carried himself. You didn't have to necessarily agree with Malcolm,
right?
But you had to respect that these men carried themselves,
right,
with a leadership mindset. They were exactly who they said they were.
Right. What's beautiful about what you're saying? You were in the cigar lounge when my uncle came.
Yes.
See, that's what he represented to me.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Because I didn't have my father.
Right.
I think the last time I saw my father was in 1978. But I had Uncle Ben.
Right.
And Uncle Ben was different.
Oh, he was a force. What I loved about him at meeting him was he was not trying to be the biggest man in the room. He just spoke. And he wasn't really concerned about you listening.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Now, if he said something that made you want him to go deeper, you had to ask for it.
Exactly.
He wasn't going to force himself. And so I have an Uncle Carl that's like that. And, you know, my Uncle Fred is like that. These are men who exemplify manhood to me, but they never sat me down and said, this is what it means to be a man.
Right.
They just said, watch me. Right.
Well, no, Uncle Ben said that.
Oh, did he?
No, Uncle Ben, my Uncle Ben is like a father.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
Straight up.
Yeah.
He was just like, this is what we gonna do.
Yeah. Well, and he was openly critical to you. So he wasn't concerned about your ego.
No.
Even in the presence of your friend.
No.
But he also wasn't destructive in his criticism.
No.
He just said, you know, you played until you was ready to play, and then you stopped playing.
Oh, he was talking about basketball. Don't talk about basketball. Ladies and gentlemen, we got callers.
But again, it wasn't destructive criticism. It
Oh,
was
no.
constructive. You know?
Absolutely.
And he definitely was able to point out the parallels between the man that you were becoming and the men that you are raising.
Oh, yeah.
Which I think is important because, you know, nothing new under the sun. You know what I mean? We got to stop pretending like we're breaking ground here. You know,
right?
We're raising men,
and
we've been doing it for eons.
And that's why he comes to the lounge.
Yeah.
He'll call and be like, "You at the lounge?"
Yeah.
Yes, I'm 10 minutes away. I'll be there. You know, that's why we are still so close to this day. So, you know, like I said, man, my mother needed some help, and there he was.
Yeah.
And
would you say that he had a sense of not ownership, but a sense of accountability in his role in your life?
You know, him and his brothers, some of his brothers are more like, man, damn, I wish I could have did more.
Yeah, yeah.
But he, on the other hand, he didn't really make any excuses.
Sure.
He was just like, whatever I can do, I'm gonna do it.
I did what I did.
And I did what I did.
Yeah.
You know, and what was dope about him, he would do things like, it's a bunch of cousins, and we're all like a year apart. And so he was like, all right, everybody's going to join the YMCA. And
Right.
and you guys are kids, y'all going to play hoop. Then he went to the local tennis shoe shop owner.
Okay.
This by the name, in Pasadena, everybody knows, Walt Butler.
All right.
He cut a deal with Walt Butler. He said, listen here now. How much are these Pro Kids? Oh, they 25 a pair? What if I get 8 pair?
There you go.
You know, so he cut the deal, and then we all get shoes.
Sure.
And then he says, now you can't wear these shoes just kicking it. These are your hoop shoes.
Right.
And he got all of the cousins that.
Yeah.
So Uncle Ben was, he was exceedingly useful in terms of just growing up and understanding what it meant to be a man. When I come forward, I'm going to the phone lines. I see the phone lines are cracking. We about to get cooking. Say, hey, get them shoes. He see you in the street somewhere with them shoes on. Hey, come. Give me the shoes.
Yeah.
I'll give them back to you on Saturday when you got a game. You gonna leave me on the street barefooted? Hey, I'm sorry.
I made it very clear to you with Zoe Williams exclusively on KBLA Talk 15.
That's what he did. Hey, what happened? What happened?
I'm Mike Island, and here's the latest from the Black Information Network.
Hey, don't call and hang up. I'm gonna come to you.
Overturning Roe v. Wade last summer.
Nazarene X, you should definitely call in.
May include reproductive rights. She said the Supreme Court's ruling only concluded that the 14th Amendment didn't have a right to abortion. President Biden says the shooting down of a Chinese balloon will not change his State of the Union speech Tuesday night. Speaking on the White House lawn on Monday.
Yo, y'all don't forget, hit that super chat. Rhett, you gotta call in. You a brother of substance.
During an interview on Good Morning America, she said the economy
call in, Rhett. I need to see that yay area.
Showed more than 500,000 new jobs are added in January. And that's the latest. I'm Mike Island from your 24/7 news source, the Black Information Network and BIN.
Call them out. 15 people need to hit the like button. Hit the like button. Somebody says, Zoe, you Spider-Man because you got an uncle named Ben. And they call me Zoe Parker? What are we doing? I want y'all to talk to your brother, Tony.
What up? I don't ever get numbers like that.
Oh, man. We have a lot to talk about. We have a lot to write about. politics.
Y'all say what's up to Tony, man.
What's going on, sir?
Hey, Truemonger, don't wait till the end, bro. Get in here when I can get you in early, bro. Rhett, get in here. They all shout you out in the chat. Salutations, sir. Peace, brother Tony.
A reliable source for the issues you care about. This is unapologetically progressive. KBLA Talk 1580.
Get to that phone line. I want to hear from the solid brothers today. Supreme Rising, Tony.
Assistance with cemeteries, along with luxury limousine and funeral coaches. And
He looked like a radio DJ himself. What that? Tony, what that mean?
I think she said I got a face for radio.
That's a nice way of saying you ugly. What the fuck?
You found the right medium.
Hey, nigga, stay behind the microphone. Don't get behind the camera. What in the world?
That's funny.
Please contact McKay's Family Mortuary.
Can we hear the best piece of advice from the book? Well
Well
then, why would he give you the best piece? It's a book. You're supposed to buy it.
You can get all the pieces.
What the fuck?
The best and the worst.
Give me the best part of the book on the air right now.
Or log on to McKaysMortuaries.com.
No, I want to talk to everybody, Mimi. Mimi out here thinking for me.
Thanks to our new
Man, Mimi
sponsor,
be
Ministry.
tripping.
Ministry is
No,
a
I think he
national
just want to
platform
talk to the
for
guys.
small
No, I
business
don't,
owners
Mimi. I want to talk to you too. You could have called. You can call in.
Business owners access the
Boy,
affordable
Mimi
capital
always
needed to
starting
grow.
stuff in
Visit
this.
Ministry, LENDISTRY.com/KBLA today.
Mom's early Alzheimer's diagnosis
Yes,
was
call in if you
hereditary.
have questions.
And when I let the oven on, we decided together that it was time to see a doctor and make a plan. Early detection gave us more time to seek out information and support as a family.
You reading all these comments?
Are noticing changes. It could be Alzheimer's. Talk about seeing a doctor
So
together.
you tripping.
For more information,
You
visit
only call men. No, I didn't.
ALZ.org/22.
Everybody call.
Everybody.
Association and the Ad Council.
Are you a business owner, freelancer,
Mimi, why?
filing
Mimi,
taxes for the
you
first
be.
time? Are you
Mimi be
tired of
tripping.
dodging the IRS? Stop what you're doing now. Mac Tax Solutions, the father and son dynamic duo tax team, is the most sought
She
out
said,
tax
"I'm tripping."
business around. Mac Tax Solutions guarantees 100% maximum refund and free consultation. Call now, 562-715-9945. That's 562.
She is trolling me.
9945 or visit MacTaxSolutions.com. IRS or California
See?
ATB notices. Free e-file remote tax
Stop it,
services
Mimi.
with free
Stop
secure
it.
tax dome portal. A $40 gift card will be
Mimi
included
starting
when you
stuff for
file. Call
fun.
now,
Exactly.
562-715-9945. 562-715-9945. Staying on track with all required documents will help you reach your personal and financial goals. Prevent paycheck garnishments. Mac Tax Solutions will even
The last person who hung up the phone had to go doo-doo.
could be eligible for. Now is the time to make your business work for you. Call
Mimi
now,
said she called and was drunk.
562-715-9945.
Mimi always playing. Mimi, I'm looking at the callers. You didn't call in.
562-715-9945 or visit the website at MacTaxSolutions.com.
Mimi acting brand new to the motherfucker tonight, boy. It's crazy.
562-715-9945.
Live in 30.
Live in 30. Here we go.
This is KBLA Talk 1580. Talk radio. That's music to your ears. We're unapologetically progressive. KBLA Talk 1580. You're listening to the voice of reason with Phil Williams. Only on KBLA Talk 1580.
The voice of reason. You know my playlist is my co-host. Y'all ain't never heard that before, huh? Look, I see everybody in the studio head nodding like, yeah. Now, don't ask me to pronounce the name of the group. I can barely get through the name of the track. It's Maria Tambian. That's the name of the track. Maria Tambian. But the name of the group is Karugalbin, something like that. What is it? You don't know it either, Andy.
I was gonna say, well, you gotta throw the little accent on the song, though. Maria También.
Maria También. Maria También. Kuangbin? Kruangbin. I got a couple of their tracks on here. Maria También. Yeah, I like that. Ladies and gentlemen, the voice of reason is on fire tonight. The phone lines are cracking. Tony Massey is in here cooking. We're talking about the Neander Negro. Because listen, man, I sit and I talk with women and they're telling me that men are disrespectful. Brothers. Men marginalized, minimized, disrespect, the whole nine. And I'm asking, is that guy on the rise? You said a lot of us lack that mentor, that mirror that can actually grow us up a little bit. That's what you said. We got callers on the line that may have something to say about that. We got Bowman from Grand Prairie, Texas. Get in here, Bowman.
What's up, bro? How you feeling?
Man,
Yes, well.
I'm alive and well, brother. What do you think about tonight's topic?
What's bothering me is there's too many people who...
I knew something was bothering you. First off, Bowman, let me just tell you right now. As soon as you saw the topic in Instagram, you said, I'm calling in. And I said, something, this bothers him. No, go ahead, Bowman. Go ahead.
I'm calling in because, last night there was a show on YouTube that I called into about passport bros. Because this does have to do something with that as well. Here's the problem that I'm seeing with a lot of these men, specifically black men. Too many of them are equating manhood to what they have down below. They have a sense of entitlement when it comes to having access to a woman's you-know-what. And it doesn't work like that. And that's one of the issues I'm tremendously seeing. And they expect women to respect them instead of earning it.
Well, give us an example, Bowman. Give us an example. How does a man earn a woman's respect? I just want to hear where you're coming from.
It's by what he does. Leadership is part of that, but also the effort he makes to heighten his mindset. What he does in his everyday routine, whether it be reading books, whether it be starting a business, something that she can see that has tangibility to it. He has to see something in him. And there's not a lot of, I shouldn't say there's not a lot, but there's some men who just aren't doing that.
Well, Bowman, let me give you the balance. You got to remember this is a human thing. This is part of the human condition. It's not just men or women. There are a lot of human beings that don't respect that see that as weak or soft. Somebody that's working internally and reading and studying. We live in an anti-intellectual society, and it isn't just men that are anti-intellectual. There are women out there that see that as soft. I'm just pointing that out. Go ahead. Finish your thought there.
That's purposeful, though. And people better understand something. If a man follows his purpose, there's going to be a lot of single women.
Ooh.
It's bad enough if you have a man who is a business owner or a CEO or something like that. He can't spend every day of his time with you. You find yourself lonely. But just imagine a man who is purposeful. He's everywhere. He doesn't have time to focus on one person or one thing. He's doing everything. But let me say this.
Go ahead.
These men who feel entitled to women's parts, right? They're ruining some of these women. They're aiding in the destructive patterns that these women have already faced. And it's making it hard for good men who are really trying to pursue them. It's making it difficult for them. So they need to stop doing that.
Balance it out, Bowman. Balance it out. You said they're ruining. But hold on. Just let me say it. Let me say it, and I'll throw it back to you, Bowman. Men and women are ruining each other because the woman has to consent to that. It's not just a man going in there Neanderthaling, socking them in the head and taking it. There is an agreement happening in most cases. Go ahead. Go ahead, Bowman.
Some people are naive, though. I will say this, to some of these men, I'm not saying to be a rug that she can just walk over. I'm not saying that. What I am saying is quit thinking that you're entitled to everything that she has when it comes to her body. It's ridiculous.
We agree. We agree with that. Bowman, you're the first caller of the night. We appreciate your insight. Thank you, brother. I'm going to get Tony Massey's thoughts on your thoughts while you're off the air. Thank you for calling. You brought your city in the building. If you want to bring your city in the building, all you got to do is call me at 1-800-920-1580. The Neander Negro is on the rise. Tony, what did you think about what this brother was saying?
I mean, there's validity to what he's saying, just because I think that sex is the last bastion of hope when it comes to defining manhood. You know what I mean? Like, it's the universal acceptance piece when it comes to being a man, unfortunately, and it's something that we don't grow out of. You know, this was something that was very prevalent in our teen years when we were going through our change. You know, our indoctrination into our biological indoctrination into manhood. We were driven by, that desire to conquer and to, do all these things. But at some point we're supposed to mature beyond that and realize that, sex, the act of sex, should be a means to an end. It shouldn't be the end itself. It should be the manifestation, the physical manifestation of an emotional connection. But if you never learn that, then you start to believe that women owe you sex, especially if it can validate you in the manosphere,
Well, let's go deeper. A lot of brothers don't get the sex with the person they want.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
So when they do get some sex, it's almost like cornbread.
Yeah.
From
not manna.
I'm just saying, a lot of brothers don't get the sex from the person that they want.
Yeah.
So when they do get some sex, they go crazy.
Yeah. I'll even go deeper than that. A lot of men are out here having resentful sex.
Right.
Because they're not having sex with the woman that they want to have it with, they start to develop a disdain for women who will give it to them. The ones that are given to them. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, imagine you choose me at my worst.
Wow.
How can I stay with you and when I evolve to my best?
Ooh.
I don't like your choices.
Yeah, it's getting ugly. It's getting ugly in here. Ladies and gentlemen, you listen to the Voice of Reason on KBLA Talk 1580. I'm sitting in here with my brother, Tony Massey. The phone lines are bananas. We got women and brothers from all over the country that want to speak on it. When we come forward, the conversation continues.
Is it good to you? More Voice of Reason with
Ronan, you gotta call in here. Coochie consolidation? Is that like credit consolidation?
Black Minute News brought to you by Industry. The film
it's like cornbread from Harold and Bells. Niggas be like, oh, this is good. This is legend.
And Mark Lawrence themselves.
It's about that time. It's about that time. It's official, y'all. Y'all know what it is, right? It's official.
Ghetto Gourmet said women owe sex in exchange for my provision, protection, and leadership. You better call in here, man.
Industry is a national black-led small business lender that is headquartered in Los Angeles. Industry helps small business owners.
Yes, Mimi. He said men have resentful sex. Layaway labia.
TRY.com/KBLA today.
That's dumb. Layaway labia.
Daniels, a black cement finisher, started his career at LADWP in 1947.
Come on, y'all. We at 34.98. Did we set a benchmark? Let's do this. Let's make it easy on us tonight. Let's make the benchmark $95.
operation, including thousands of miles.
We're at 34.98. Can we do it?
Reservoirs, tanks, and pump stations. And Selmo ensures that Angelinos have access to reliable, safe, and quality drinking water every day. As your LA DWP celebrates,
Hey, the next piece we gotta ask: are women attracted to the Neander Negro? Ooh, we ain't even got there yet.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
Tired of being locked out of job opportunities and shut down by systemic racism? KBLA stands with you in fighting for the rights of black workers, and we don't back down. The Los Angeles Black Workers Center is a dynamic alliance of workers, organized labor, community-based organizations.
We almost back now. We're at the end of the first hour. So, yes. So the next two segments are just 4 minutes. So it goes quick. Truemonger, good looking out, brother. Poverty panties and pipes are commonplace nowadays. Poverty panties. Oh my God. We got a whole different kind of crew in here tonight. Is the Neander Negro the Pookie? Then the answer is yes.
Please visit www.lablackworkerscenter.org. That's lablackworkerscenter.org.
And she said, Pop's guns.
From KBLA Talk 1580.
KBLA Talk 1580 is growing.
30 seconds.
We need to enlarge our territory. We are seeking
What we gonna?
smart,
Hey,
creative
Andy, what we gonna do with the last
solution
segment?
providers to join the KBLA delegation and go higher with
Are we
us.
gonna do the
If
breaks?
you or someone you know is
We going to
interested
the
in
top.
joining
Got
our
it.
team as a brand manager, go to our website at
Section 8 swipe.
KBLA1580.com. Tap on employment opportunities and let us hear from you. We're not looking for everybody.
Oh no,
We're just
Ronan
looking
is
for
legendary
you.
with the one-liners.
Come grow with us.
Pawn shop Punani. See, he'll just keep going.
You know you want some more. It's the Voice of Reason with Zoe Williams on KBLA Talk 1580.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Voice of Reason is on fire tonight. And my playlist is rolling right with me. Where we at? We on Pacific Coast Highway right now. You in the dig? I'm about, let me say, about 87 miles per hour. But I can't feel it. Woo! Yeah! We're having an amazing topic tonight. The rise of the young Neander Negro. And we're talking about the problems that plague black men. Fatherlessness, no mentors, poor education. But the question is, why do so many women like them? Many women are attracted, can I be honest? And I don't mean this to the worst of us.
Yes.
1-800-920-1580. Get to your phone lines. I need to hear from you. Reggie from Austin, Texas. Get in here.
There's just 2 points I want to make, and just glad to talk to you, man. The first one is we're not considering white supremacy. I think it's a system that we're working under, and it's the backdrop of a lot of the decisions we make. It divides families, it divides relationships, and we're struggling against things that we aren't really identifying.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying it's the entire subject that we have to identify, or it's the entire reason that for the state of our people, but it's a part, it's a component. And I think if we don't, consider that component, then we're really fighting a losing battle. That's the first thing.
Uh-huh.
And the second thing is, as far as men are concerned, there's an archetype for what a classic man is. And that's really a fallacy. There are many types of manhood. I mean, there's a type of manhood for every degree on a circle.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, you can't say what a man is specifically or not. I know what I am, and I know what works for me, and I know what doesn't. And I can have my little part in this and my little component in this, and you can have your component, and we can figure stuff out. None of us have all of the answers.
Right.
And we're all trying to find our way to the best life that we have. Dealing with the things that we have, not what we want, but with reality as what we have. And so, we can come together and say, look, I don't have it all, but let's combine what we have as far as knowledge is concerned and teach the next generation so they don't have to go through the same things we did. So those are two things that I hope we would consider in this conversation.
Well,
right?
Yes, absolutely, Brother Reggie. We appreciate your insight. Austin, Texas is in the building because of you. Tony, your thoughts on what he said?
I agree. However, I agree that men are not monolithic. However, we should have as black men, we should have a monolithic approach to our roles in our communities.
So you're saying like a code?
Exactly. Yeah.
A code of ethics.
A code of ethics. Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
And I think that, every community out there, if we start a business, if we start a venture, the first thing we're going to do is sit down and discuss the rules.
Right.
If we decide to play dominoes,
right,
or spades, or a pickup game on the basketball court, the first thing we do is discuss the rules.
Right.
Is it make it, take it, big joker, little joker, whatever.
Right.
We're not having that conversation because we're allowing everyone to walk to the beat of their own drum. And I think that there's a place for individualism, but there also has to be a collective mindset.
Right.
And as a community, and this is where my passion is when it comes to especially young men.
Right.
We are allowing voices that have no vested interest in the community, whether they're outside or inside. They're the loudest voices, and they're speaking to our young men.
Yeah.
And they're telling them things that are contradictory to what they should be doing if they want to be productive members of a society. Now, if you want to go and live off the grid, dig you a log, build your log cabin in the woods, do you.
Right.
But if you want to live within the confines of a society, then you're going to have to submit to some type of social order.
Yes.
And in doing so, that you can't have the, we're not all the same approach. We're not. But we should be working towards the same goal. Not everybody on the football field has the same job.
This is getting deep.
But they all are working towards the same goal.
Right.
Even when the defense takes the field, they still have to have an offensive mindset, understanding that I have to protect the ball to give it back to the people who can score, or I have to score myself.
Can we operate as a beehive within this system?
I think we can. The problem is that we have. It's so funny how we talk about submission when it comes to women so often, but how difficult it is for men to submit to leadership.
Ooh.
I talk about this all the time. I come from Houston, Texas, and in the neighborhood I grew up in, South Park, I counted one street. The street is probably about 1.5 miles long. I counted 32 churches. Right. 32 churches in 1.5 miles.
Right. The
one thing that all these churches had in common was a name on the marquee. My thought process was, what if these 32 churches, who probably had a membership of no more than 25, 30 people, submitted themselves unto one leader? Take their name off the marquee and start working with one leader.
No.
Imagine how powerful that one church could be for that community.
This church, my church.
Exactly.
You
I'm
understand?
the senior pastor of this
You
church,
understand? They don't do what I do.
Right.
Evil is good. But I'm going to say it again. Toxicity.
Yeah.
The Neander Negro.
Yeah.
is in high demand because trauma is attractive.
Absolutely.
Can you talk about the trauma bonding and the attraction that is associated with that?
Yeah, I mean, you know that saying, I can do bad all by myself. Nobody does that. People want to do bad with other people. Nobody does bad all by themselves. They hate being by themselves. You know, they want to do bad with somebody else. You know, and you know, the other issue I've always had, you know, not speaking about women, but this idea that I want a man like my father. You don't get to love in a romantic way a man like your father, because we have two very different agendas and we see you in two very different ways. And so what you do is you take the best and worst of your father and you try to fit that into a man. And so if he does show you a level of toxicity and you had a toxic father, you start to see that as love. And I'm not blaming anyone for this, but what I'm saying is that we until I can be free of my trauma still feels like love. It feels like affection. It feels like you're paying attention to me. It's the baby that cries so that it could be heard. It hasn't formulated the ability to say, this is what I want. So instead it just cries.
It gets deeper.
Sure.
Or you attract what your daddy was in your man, and you can discard him because many of us can't discard daddy.
Absolutely.
So we attract what we couldn't fix in daddy and then get a bump of self-esteem and the strength because we can discard you.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, not only that, I can say things to you that I can't say to my father. So you're basically a placeholder for my trauma. You are. I put you in a position where I can throw darts at your face. I mean, at your body, but his face. You know what I mean?
A shadow tray. Yeah. When we come forward, I'm going to the phone lines, man. It's about to be on fire. We got Denver. We got Indianapolis. We got the wetlands of Fallopia. We got Battle Creek, Michigan. It's going down in the town when we come forward. Stay tuned. That's where that dude say he at. He will never tell us where he's really at. So he puts in wetlands of Fallopia. Woo, it's fired up in this motherfucker.
I'm Mike Island, and here's the latest from the Black Information Network. Abortion may still be a constitutional right despite the Supreme Court overturning Roe v. Wade last summer. A Washington, D.C. judge said the 13th Amendment may include
Say, brothers,
rights. She said the Supreme
I'm going to the post office tomorrow.
The 14th Amendment didn't have a right to abortion.
If you want these, moderators, can you put this? Can you put the instructions in the chat room? If you want He Is Risen, created by Dr. Russell. We also have Gold Dust. I got 3 bags of this left. Libido Herbal Magic. The green pill.
24/7 News source, the Black Information Network.
The postman always rings twice. Warrior Wood Dust. Come on, Ronan, come on.
For advice on smart PCs powered by Intel V Pro that's built
I want protection of a man. I'm all for it. I'm serious. Okay.
KBLA Talk 1580 is turning up the frequency in Black History Month. Be on the lookout for some familiar faces as the Metro K-Line is currently wrapped in KBLA Talk 1580.
That's for He Is Risen. Same instructions for Gold Dust. But only Gold Dust is $61.
Les Brown's month-long radio residency. You've got to be hungry. Weekdays at 11 a.m. and 6 p.m. Exclusively on KBLA Talk 1580. And afternoons just got real. Real people, real talk, real issues, real solutions. Be sure to check out Ariva Martin in real time. Way home.
They stupid. Ronan is on fire tonight. Look, we're at $39.98. Can we get to 95? Is it possible? of reason. If your relationship is in trouble, I'm the dude to call. Has your soulmate become your cellmate? Does black love still exist? What are your bedroom turnoffs, fantasies, and fetishes? Financial infidelity. I'm dating a fat person. Are they worth the wait? Trust me, it's gonna be crazy.
How about the heavy stuff? The child wasn't here, and you still had to pay child support.
It's a very heated topic.
How was that right?
Mama's baby.
Hey, time off.
There's so many questions I want to ask you.
I was like the kid. There's something wrong with that?
He helped me. He had a vasectomy. I'm pregnant.
Betrayal has been committed. Hit you with a bad vibes routine. How does he maintain his pomposity?
I feel when it pinches my neck.
Why can't you open up, brother?
I'm a karate man. Karate man rules on the inside. They don't show their weaknesses.
Yeah.
How do you write women so well?
Zoe Williams,
Reason and accountability.
the voice of reason.
When I think about Black men and dating in general, I think about their preferences, and sometimes I don't feel like they're always checking for us.
Hello.
So when I think specifically of a well-known celebrity who has been highly publicized for beating Black women, but when I think about what his recent comments were about the hair of Black women and who he would date based on her hair texture, it infuriated me, thinking that, well, that one, who is a role model for a lot of Black men, is not checking for us. He's making it seem like there's something wrong with having the one.
But do you realize you said that one? That could be for any
But that's
race.
not just
it's
him.
not one.
It's not
But
just
it's not
him.
just him. Within the industry, they are fetishizing mixed women.
Yeah, they do.
They
For
do.
sure.
They
But
do.
not all.
But just if you have any sort of exotic, and that's the problem.
You're right.
That's what you're talking about.
You're absolutely right.
I'm going to go all the way back there.
I grew up in a family that I was too dark. Okay? I was too dark, but then at the same time, my grandfather was a white man. But as I grew up, Black men weren't interested in me. White men were attracted to me, okay? But my attraction was always a Black man. That's what I want in my life, okay? The Black men, they're there for us. There's an understanding, there's a, I don't have to try. I can just be.
Wow. That's heavy. And these are real concerns that our sisters have about us. Now, people who are watching on KBLA's YouTube channel, I'm listening to the video and you guys see me laughing. I'm not laughing at what the sisters are saying. My child is in my chat room talking. So when my child comes in the chat room and starts talking, I'm like, oh, Lord. Because she said, please don't mention my man. And I'm, okay, all right. Okay. So my child is talking. So if y'all saw me laughing during that clip, that was a serious clip. You know, I'm really just laughing at my child, okay? But the sister brought up something really heavy. Do brothers seem to like sisters that are a little bit more Blasian, biracial, light skin? Like, what's the deal? Do brothers have an issue with dark skinned women?
I'll tell you, I struggle with this.
That's because you from Texas.
Maybe so. I get that there is definitely a Eurocentric standard of beauty.
Right.
I'll concede to that. However, I think that we, especially in our community, we spend so much time focusing on other people's preferences when we don't meet those preferences. The reality is that most of us, and this is purely anecdotal, but I would believe that most of us have an issue with people who don't like us, but will not speak on the people that we don't like. We're all trying to force the people that we like to like us, while simultaneously looking over the person that likes us that we don't like.
Let me hit you with this.
Okay.
If 70% of Black men are born to single mothers, and our mothers love us the way they love us, could those same boys grow up into men and begin to dislike women because they dislike their mother?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. And I don't think we talk enough about that. Not only that, do you know how difficult it is for black men to be honest about the traumatic homes that they that they were raised in by women?
Well, if you put a mother in survival mode,
Right.
and she's got to do what she's got to do
Yeah.
to get everybody and carry. She's LeBron James of the household now. She got to put everybody on her shoulders and carry, right? Okay. If she does the best she can do, I had to tell my brothers and sisters this.
Yeah.
I had a sister who was mad, right? I had a sister who was mad at my mother. I said, your mother's from the projects. When I was born, she was 27.
Right.
And I was number 6.
Yeah.
From 3 different dudes.
Yeah.
She was married, then got with your daddy, then got with my dad. Hey, what is your expectation for her?
But my pushback is, I can understand the conditions that I grew up in, and they still can be traumatic though.
Sure.
You know what I mean? Like, I'm not blaming anyone for
But that's what we do.
We do.
Yes.
Yes, these mothers are doing the best they could, or they can, but they're still causing trauma that has to be dealt with.
So how do we deal with them?
And this is where this is where the mentor comes in. This is where the transformation from boyhood to manhood is so important. This is where men have to stop looking outward and start looking inward. You talked about the victim archetype.
Yeah.
And there's so many of us that are just, we have a litany. I mean, just a long list of people.
Would you there's so many men who got the victimhood archetype tied to their wallet.
Oh, absolutely.
If I spend money, I need to get honey.
Yeah.
Now, if I spend like $300, something need to happen this evening.
Right. It's a fair exchange.
Victimhood connected to the wallet?
Absolutely. And it makes sense, because the only way to get out of poverty is money. But poverty is not just a state it's not just a financial state. It's an emotional state. It's a spiritual state. It's a psychological state. And we start to believe that our money can buy us out of all types of poverty, but it can't.
Not, especially not internal poverty.
Absolutely not.
That's the poverty money don't work on.
You cannot fix a broken heart with money.
Woo, here we go. Here we go. Phone lines is cracking. Who's on the longest? Cali, Seoul, Denver. Get in here.
Peace, brothers.
I told you we was going to talk real tonight from a man's perspective.
I'm enjoying myself. First of all, to what he was just saying about in regards to brothers liking lighter skinned women or whatever, like, we still got colorism within our community, and society absolutely contributes to that, and we continue to fall for the okie doke. My journey to accepting my beauty was a long one, because since I was a little girl, people would tell me how beautiful I was, but I thought that they were just patronizing me because I'm a chocolate woman.
Oh, that's
like,
right.
Yeah.
Did you see Cali Soul? She came to the shooting of the Situation Shift.
Oh, did she?
She was on the Almond Joy side of the game. Yes. Yeah, the Mounds. Yeah. Anyway, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Cali. Finish.
So, yes, it's fine. So, fast forward, it took me until I was like age 32 to really step into my beauty and recognize it for myself. And I had to shave my hair off to get to that point and actually see my reflection. And I was like, wow, okay, I'm good. I get it. So fast forward now, I love to see the brothers out in the stores, at the whatever with their girl, and they look at me and they're like, oh, wow, I should have hung on and stuck around for a black woman a little bit longer, because I didn't know they made them like that. And I'm like, yeah. And hi to your girlfriend too. Hi, how you doing, boo? Bye. I don't want to. You ain't even got to worry about me. I don't move like that. But through going through all of that, go ahead.
No. Go ahead. Through going through all of that, finish your thought.
Through going through all of that, I recognized that the peacocking that some of men do is a direct effect of the victimization, because the ego's split.
Mm-hmm.
It can be a coward or it can be real nasty, loud, and boisterous. So when I see those guys acting out in that way to where it's just straight peacock, I'm like trying to decipher to myself the difference between their societal programming. Like, okay, is this brother really cocky, or is this just like his defense mechanism going up because he's had to prove himself all of his life, and he doesn't necessarily know how to code switch out of the code switch? Like, yeah, you've been projecting all of that to society, but I'm standing right here in front of you. I'm just a simple black woman. I don't need you to peacock for me, because I know who you are. I see your core.
No. That's not gonna work for no dude. Go ahead, Tony.
I'd like to ask you a question, Callie. Not to
break it down for me.
Not to challenge you, but to get a deeper understanding of what you're saying. Because what confuses me is if you are able to discern between the peacocking that is artificial because he's hiding trauma, or the peacocking because he doesn't know how to code switch out the code switch, as you say. Does it matter? And two, if it matters, what is your responsibility in that, dealing with that?
Patience and love is my responsibility.
Your responsibility, Callie, your responsibility should be walking away.
Exactly. Yeah.
Because if you can see that on a spiritual level, that's God saying, see, now leave. But you raise a great point, Callie, and maybe you could give us some insight on this. Because we really know, and we can see it, and brothers will switch personalities because one works better.
Yeah.
Brothers will turn into the Neander Negro in order to get the girl he wants, as opposed to the girl he got to settle for. Because we've seen it work. Can we talk about that? Your attraction to the Neander Negro, a.k.a. the Pookie?
I'm not saying I'm into hugging porcupines. I'm just saying I will offer you some grace in that moment. You know, like, in those moments, we can either snap off,
break out the phone call,
you fly all the way out, or we can just see it as a true call for love, and like you said, walk away. But oftentimes that is not what happens. What happens is a clash of the titans in that moment, where the sister go off and say something to him, then you're going to say something back, and we've got a whole reactive situation. So no, I'm not saying I'm still going to move towards this, person that's having a great call for love. Me meeting it with patience and love is just saying, wow, I still love you anyway.
Right. But is it, and you represent a different kind of woman. Callie Soul's different. But there might be some women out there that says, I want to conquer him.
Yeah.
Let's not forget that the female ego is different too.
It is. I want to fix him.
I want to conquer him. I want to fix him. I want to love on him. All that. Yeah.
I mean, you should really just leave him alone.
You should just. You saw the peacock. You saw the feathers. You should just walk. Are those feathers? Yes, just walk. Callie, so we appreciate the call, baby girl. You brought Denver, Colorado in the building. If you want to bring your city in the building, all you got to do is call us at 1-800-920-1580. When I come forward, whoever's been on the line the longest, that's Nazarene X. We coming right to you. We got a lot to talk about.
Reasons. The reasons that we're here, the reasons that we fear, our feelings won't disappear. You're listening to the voice of reason with Zoe Williams.
Yeah.
In 1960,
this is why I always try to balance it. We got to balance it. Everybody want to be the victim. Well, see, that's because he acted a certain way. You know you saw the feathers. You saw feathers and you was turned on.
Director of Power, New Business, and Electrification is at the helm, leading the effort to charge up LA through
you see the snap before the snap happens.
Her trailblazing career includes more than 30 years with LADWP. As your LADWP,
if a volcano will warn you, a nigga sure will. Volcano be burping. Is that a bulge? Just get the fuck out of here. We ignore the red flags. Boom, Mimi came through. Look.
Get ready for an intimate evening with Life Jennings.
Phone lines is crazy all over the country.
Valentine's night, February 14th at the Redondo Beach Performing Arts Center. Doors open at 7 p.m.
Heru Ali. It's Nazarene X, Heru Ali, Ronan. Those are my next three. Nazarene X, Heru Ali, and Ronan. Mimi, Mimi.
Get back to business, Los Angeles County. The Economic Opportunity Grant Program is
Man, Mimi be tripping. Mimi said, we want to see what Sarah looked like. Mimi always want to see somebody.
Los Angeles County.
God damn, Mimi.
600 grants of up to
Explain to us what
each will be administered to qualified micro businesses that face barriers to access
Mimi is wild.
Economic Opportunity Grant Program.
Somebody said, Mimi, stay ready.
The application process is fast and easy. Don't miss the opportunity to get back to business. This program is administered by the County of Los Angeles through its Department of Economic Opportunity and funded in part through a grant from the California Office of the Small Business Advocate. The application portal is powered by Lindustry. Visit www.grants.lacounty.gov and get back to business.
You know you want some more. More. It's the voice of reason with Zoe Williams on KBLA Talk 1580.
Come on, feel the vibe with your brother, Zoe Williams. Right now it's 2 a.m. in the morning. I'm on the 405, ain't no traffic. I'm at about 97 miles an hour now. And I got this track blanging, right? Have you ever heard this record before? I don't think so. Tonight, my playlist is always my co-host, but tonight I'm playing unique records. This track is called August 10. It's by that same group. What is it? Karangbin. I listen to it all the time. Tonight I was like, I gotta play this group. Karangbin. But the name of this track is August 10. Yeah. It's such a vibe tonight. The phone lines are completely jammed from all over the United States. Let's get these callers in here. Who's been on the longest? Nazarene X from the wetlands of Fallopia.
Man.
You got to give us a real city, brother. You can
Ain't no place like home. Ain't no place like home. But nah, shout out to the brother Tony Massey in the building.
What up?
Yeah, he cooking. He's cooking tonight. Yes.
It's been solid.
So what's your thoughts?
Well, that's the thing. Like, I've been listening, and really, I know even when the co-host is real groovy and all, I've been wanting to choose a little bit more violence than like a little different.
That's why I had to play the music and cool us out, because I know how we get down. We had to vibe, man.
Okay. So this help me. Okay. what I also heard earlier, and I think that's part of what ties into one thing that could be said, like brothers might have a difficulty in dealing with sisters, but even this whole thing of like the good guy mentality, it's solid. Like you just be the best man you are, but part of our responsibility as brothers is to stop tolerating just the pusillanimous activities of these dudes that need to have an easier time with sisters. Because to a degree, I understand, like, people keep saying, like, oh, you know, it's too hard or it's making it more difficult, but that's what helps us appreciate those rare few. Mm-hmm. Like, from a community aspect, even back on the Sparta type thing or whatever, it's like, part of the problem is a lot of our sisters apparently are getting used to being able to choose the low-hanging fruit from us as men. So it's kind of like a double-edged sword if everyone that's claiming to be a good guy is complaining about the quote-unquote bad guy that's making it hard for sisters to see them. Part of your responsibility as a good man is to help a woman identify you and continue to stand apart from those that might not be for her. Whether that means also us standing in the ring together, back at the barbershops having certain conversations, because each one of us, like it's the iron sharpens iron thing. And I get a little turned on that because I would rather have that, how you say, like that 1 in a billion sisters. That don't mean, like, I'm not saying that women as a whole are bad or our sisters are a hopeless species or anything like that. I'm just staying locked in on the prize. So whether it's the women that are just used to, I guess, getting over on the dude that would just serve them and let them walk all over and whatever it is, they not really even on my radar. How you say is like, if somebody has a problem with you, is what kind of energy you give it that affects your world. So it's like the good women are in my sights. If a woman fall off, so be it, I'm going to keep it pushing. If a dude's like, nah, you got to stop being so hard on the sister. I'm not hard on sisters. It's just like we're supposed to have our standards elevated on both sides. Like it works both ways. So I'm not trying to be the low-hanging fruit for a sister regardless. And if she thinks I am, more likely than not, I might end up with the little punani pie as I continue my voyage, seeking the one that's more divinely aligned with my purpose in the forward process of life.
So, wait, hold on 1 second. Play Fantastic Voyage for me. Lakeside, put Fantastic. Can we just have a quick music break? Fantastic Voyage. While she out here tripping, there's a party over here that ain't no jive. Vibe, live, all the way live. Don't even have to walk, don't even have to drive. Just, hey. That's what you do. Oh, man, boy, you crazy for that one. Nazarene X.
I'm gonna stay out the way and everything, but I mean, I love the conversations, so you already know it's all love and respect. I appreciate, adore what you do. Mm-hmm. Everyone, please remain tapped in. I just hope we can have conversations and continue to be courageous in having these conversations so that we can better vet ourselves.
There you go, bro.
Leave it like that. Let's get back to the
there you go.
Cooling, the grooving, you know what I'm saying? But keep it funky, though.
I appreciate it, Nazarene X, Wetlands of Fallopia. Now, let me just say this real quick. Oh, man, this one hurts. But here's the thing. Why do you care? Just like a woman is dependent on most women, let me preface that. Some but not. Most women are dependent on the Disneyland, the Disney script for relationships. Happily ever after, all of that. But men are too. Yeah. Men want to be Prince Charming. And in wanting to be something to someone else, you create a need. And where there is a need, there's a potential deficit. Why do you care what she thinks? Right. And many men are made by what their woman thinks. Mm-hmm. Now, I'm not saying your woman shouldn't think highly of you. I'm not saying your woman shouldn't respect you. And I'm not saying you shouldn't appreciate it when she does. What I'm saying is you shouldn't die. Right?
Right.
You shouldn't crumble internally if that's not there.
Sure.
And if it's not there, don't try to cultivate it through your behavior.
Right.
Many men try to perform to get approval. Oh, that's... Listen, I don't have to perform, and I won't perform, and I won't tap dance for you.
Right.
I'm not a relationship thespian. I'm not going to act. I'm not going to put on... I'm not going to do any of that.
Yeah.
And I think that's important. And a lot of men do that.
Absolutely.
And that's where they get in trouble with women, because they figure if I perform, I should be paid.
Right.
Talk to me about that.
No, absolutely. And this is the thing. You touch on something that's so important, and I touch on this in my book. Once a man learns what the blueprint is, once he learns the script, he'll follow it. He'll memorize it. He will act it out. He will be exactly who you tell him to be.
Right.
Right up until the point where you stop telling him. And now all of a sudden he has to be himself, right? We've been conditioned and we've learned through our behavior that we know that all women aren't the same. So I'm going to be whoever the woman in front of me needs me to be, wants me to be, until I no longer want her, or she requires me to be who I actually am.
Can you imagine being your least effective and productive self when you're your true self?
Right. You can't.
It's almost like you get more from acting.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Oh God.
1-800. And then that's why we look across the table, or we look across the room and say, well, why does he get her? Well, that's because he's doing the same thing. He's just doing it better than you.
He's better at acting than you.
Or he's reached a point of self-actualization. He is who he says he is.
Ooh.
And he's not looking for validation from the woman he's with. The validation he gets is internal.
Yes.
And again, we go back to leadership. The leader does not turn around to see who's following. The leader inspires followers.
He's trailblazing.
That's it. Yeah.
He's making roads where there are none.
Absolutely.
1-800-920-1580. Hey, let's get this caller on right now. Ronan. Oh, what? Okay, look, Ronan, you're next. When I come forward, Ronan, it's Heru Ali, actually. Heru Ali is next. When we come forward, all calls. We get deep on these topics and start talking. We still got a lot to talk about, but when we come forward, we go into the callers.
Fire tonight. It's the voice of reason with Zoe Williams exclusively on KBLA Talk 1580.
Oh, the August 10.
I'm Mike Island, and here's the latest from the Black Information.
Come on, man, I got records.
Abortion may still be a constitutional right despite the Supreme Court overturning Roe v. Wade last summer. A Washington, D.C. judge said the 13th Amendment may include reproductive rights. She said the Supreme
Somebody
Court
said a leader that doesn't turn around gets stabbed in the back.
President Biden says the shooting down of a Chinese balloon
oh, man.
his State of the Union speech Tuesday night.
Somebody said third eye is my shadow self on a burner phone. Third eye always talking shit, but he never calls in. Hey, this is a shame. We're at 39.98. We got 90 people in here. Can we get everybody to drop $5 on the super chat? 91 people? Can we get everybody to do that?
24/7 News source.
Zoe uses an Afro pick on his goatee. The new guy needs to learn our names. What?
Tools to do incredible things because we believe there's an innovator in all of us.
What do y'all think about me bringing in some of my friends?
That's built for business. Call a Dell Technologies advisor at 877-ASK-DELL. If you're not listening to Tavis Smiley weekday mornings on KBLA Talk 1580, you're missing out. Everybody wants to talk to Tavis.
Twos and Fuse is definitely bullshitting tonight. They be like, fuck you. I be like, God damn.
Bill Donahue, Studs Turkle, and Tavis Smiley. Donahue's retired, Turkle's deceased, so this is a real thrill for me. And the reason why I have such respect for what you do is you have a historically informed conversation of depth and detail.
Ooh, Mimi done came with a bomb. Some men say they want to be king, but don't really want to wear the crown.
Here at McKay's
First off, is it the crown I paid for?
Also, assistance with cemeteries, along with luxury limousine and
Because listen, this is the bullshit. I gotta come with my own crown. And then I come with my own crown. My crown comfortable than a motherfucker before you come. I got my crown tilted. My shit like bada bing. Ha! My nigga. What's happening? Then I get in your life, or you get into my life, and then the crown get heavy. You being around make the crown heavy. Right. You used to cock your crown to the side. I need bigger ears to support this heavy motherfucker. You made the crown heavy. Now, if I come into your life and then you got a crown, you be like, here, I'm gonna bestow this crown on you, Zoe. Word up. Then we good. You say, look, this is a heavy motherfucker though. This shit made of pure platinum, my nigga. And magma. This shit heavy. Then I get it. She made the crown become a noose. Wow. What up, Danny?
Talk 1580, reminding you that we keep
Kelly Soul, thank you. WDMA Warrior, thank you.
Violence and sexual assault in the Asian
Davies Worldly Ways, thank you. All we gotta do is get on the run. We have 5496.
Mission is to build healthy and safe communities by addressing the root causes and consequences of family violence and violence against.
Danny Morrison, what we got?
Specific cultural and language needs of the Asian.
Oh wow, bada bing.
CPAF's vision is of an Asian and Pacific Islander community.
That's right, pass the plate. Let's hit our goal. We're like $40 away from the goal. What did I say? 95? We're at 54.96.
Visit nurturingchange.org. At KBLA Talk 1580, we believe everyone deserves to be safe. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
Damn, that was a long promo I read. What the fuck?
Black History Month, AARP honors
promo long as fuck. All right, look. Shit crazy. We gotta get them in here. So, because you know, I'll just keep talking to you, but we gotta get our people in.
One person's efforts can truly make an impact, but when our efforts unite for the greater good,
Heru Ali, you're now.
More about local leaders helping their communities thrive.
Now Heru Ali gonna go off.
/Black community.
So just get ready. Marlon, we appreciate it. 30 seconds.
We're unapologetically progressive. KBLA Talk 1580. You're listening to the voice of reason with Phil Williams. Only on KBLA Talk 1580.
My playlist is my co-host. Ladies and gentlemen, that's the cartoons. Now you spell cartoons with 2 R's. Carrrtoons. The cartoons. And the name of that track is called Be There For You. And let me just say this, Tony, I'm watching you. Because you jacking my records. I see you adding them to your playlist. Absolutely. All right, we got so many callers. We want to get them all on. Heru Ali, Battle Creek, Michigan. You're up now. Heru.
Peace and love to the family of nations. Honor to those, honor to Andy, staff, the guy, Kevin Smiley, and honor your illustrious host, Tony.
Tony Massey. Right? Yes, sir. Yes, Tony Massey.
Respectfully, and I said to myself that I'm going to remain calm. I'm going to remain calm.
It's about to get smoky. I see.
I'm going to remain calm. Listen, I love the spiritual and the practical that you bring. It's absolutely true. It's necessary. Your guest host, all of that. But ladies, what are we really doing? Let me give you the illustration. China sent a balloon that had a surveillance apparatus that was according to the Air Force, 3 school bus loads large at 60,000 feet in the air, where commercial flights don't fly. Okay. They could have took it down before it even got to the United States. That's fine. But guess what? We call that in the military a dry run. Do you know that they could send a weather balloon, obviously, if this is number 4, that has a nuclear payload, that has an EMP? It's not going to kill you directly, but what it's going to do is shut down the power grid. Okay. When the power grid goes down, there's no water to your sink. There's no electronics. It shut down all automobiles. So what are we really talking about? What is the real value of a relationship? All that force B and all of that stuff, that goes out the window.
When you're at war. You saying when you're at war, right? That goes out the window.
Because them shooting it down. Let me take it back down.
Just relax, Harold. You got space, sir. You got space. Just breathe. I want you to take in 2 deep breaths and then go ahead.
Honest. Really? So listen, when we are at the war, we have at least we have the most weapons to people ratio in this country, and we absolutely need it. So if anybody ever tries to invade this country, it's going to be not only the military, but it's going to be civilians who have weapons to fend that off.
So let me ask you a quick question though, Haru, because I see where you're going. I see how you're painting this. I see it. What Haru is saying is, you being picky and acting all weird about relationships, but you gonna need a man. We living in a time where the idea of I don't need him. I can do this you can't do war by yourself. You go.
As far as many females that I teach and I train and I do this in real life, how to shoot and all that stuff, that is like a modicum of what it will really take to defend yourself. So the men that are trained, that have the weapons, that's going to do the fight. If we have an EMP that will take out our power grid, because if you remember, in New York, I can't remember the year, when that went down, folks was locked down in elevators, all that stuff. It was chaos. Yes or no?
No, I remember that, Heru, but we're going to start calling your segment the show within the show. Because
I'm sorry. Listen, if you don't think that...
I love it.
Respect. If you don't think that you need a man, I don't care how much you make and how much he doesn't make.
But you do got to care. Let me ask you this, though. You don't care about how much he makes or she makes, whatever. But the real question is, can you tolerate somebody that's internally broken? Yes, you made good points about survival and the preppers and, that whole concept. I get it. But can you tolerate somebody that has unhealed trauma?
What I can tell you is all that unhealed trauma goes out the door when you ain't got no water to your sink.
No, it don't. It just makes no water to the sink worse.
No. When you need a hero and you need somebody to step in and protect you, all that goes out the listen. All the so-called infidelity, giving OPP to somebody else, all that crap goes out the door. Save me, help me. Now, this is coming from a brother who did 23 years with the military. I've been in special operations. I retired as a combat medic, nurse, instructor.
So let me tell you what you have in common with my brother Tony Massey. He's a military man and also a medic and a nurse. Yeah.
Yeah. So I got a question for you, brother. I've been in 3 different combat engagements, right? And I'm sure I appreciate that, but I'm sure you can appreciate the fact that when all hell broke loose, it was the trust that I had in my leaders that helped me to stay focused on the mission when everything was falling down around us. So what we do in peacetime manifests in wartime, because as you know, war is just uncontrolled chaos until there's peace. The battle is just uncontrolled chaos until there's peace. But if you can't establish a relationship built on trust and competency during peacetime, then at some point when war breaks out, when the battle breaks out, that's when panic sets in. And it's that reliance on those leaders who have proven themselves competent and trustworthy in peacetime that allows you to stay focused in chaos.
Listen, when we come forward, we will continue this conversation. We on fire tonight. We got people all over it. Hey, Heru, when I come back, you're going to have to wrap your thought up because we got 6 other callers coming. We got a lot to talk about, man. The voice of reason is on fire. It's on fire.
The California Reparations Task Force agrees to extend its work to 2024. Maisha Cairo here with your Black Minute News, brought to you by CaliforniaBlackMedia.org. The California Task Force to study
where did Heru go?
Proposals for African Americans in California decided at the 2-day meeting on campus of San Diego State that it would support legislation that extends the panel until July of next year.
Where is Heru? Heru, where'd you go?
The date that was previously set for the summer of this year. The goal now is to have ample time to satisfactorily implement an action plan based on the findings of its final report, which is due in 5 months. This decision was
water this fire. Y'all
Governor
stupid.
Gavin Newsom vetoed legislation asking for a 12-month.
So are we going to make it to 95 or no? We're at 56, 95. Are we going to make it there or no? No, he not done. That's him right there.
Fred Hines was an African-American blacksmith when he started at LADWP in 1968. After a long 30-year career of public service, he enjoyed the fruits of his labor in retirement. Today, Utility Executive Secretary Latanya Bogan serves as the Retirement Board President, overseeing the retirement funds for more than 20,000 LADWP employees.
All right, I got to get all you people in.
She promotes the financial
Brevity
of LADWP employees and their families. As LADWP celebrates
brevity.
They proudly highlight the excellent work
Keep it short
of Black employees who work hard to serve you. Visit them online at joinladwp.com.
No, don't do it. Concise bangers.
Hey Dad, how do airplanes fly? What's in this box? Is this tree good for climbing? How are babies made? What does this thing do?
Kids are curious about everything, including guns. Talking to them about gun safety
Here we
in your
go.
home is a good first step, but you can do more. Always keep your guns locked, unloaded, and stored separately from ammunition. Safe gun storage saves lives. Learn how to make your home safer at endfamilyfire.org. That's endfamilyfire.org. Brought to you by End
Touch
Family
and
Fire,
flush,
and the Ad Council.
speak and skedaddle. T. Ross, peace and blessings. T. Ross, we're at 6194.
This is GBLA Talk 1580. Talk radio. That's music to your ears.
They wild, right?
We're unapologetically progressive. GBLA Talk 1580.
Are you a business owner, freelancer, or filing taxes for the first time? Are you tired of dodging the IRS? Stop what you're doing now. Mac Tax Solutions, the father and son dynamic duo tax team, is the most sought-out tax business around. Mac Tax Solutions guarantees 100% maximum refund and free consultation. Call now, 562-715-9945. That's 562-715-9945, or visit MacTaxSolutions.com. IRS or California FTB notices. Free
They just in there.
services with free secure tax.
They don't give a fuck. They just wild.
Call now, 562-715-9945. 562-715-9945. Staying on track with all required.
They said Tony has been another great guest. Yes.
Financial goals. Prevent paycheck garnishments. Mac Tax Solutions will even provide all tax programs that your business could be eligible for. Now is the time to make your business work for you. Call now, 562-715-9945.
So puts a bonnet on his goatee.
It's time for a fresh tax start. Call now.
Hey, y'all cash mob Tony, man. Go get his book.
Visit the website at MacTaxSolutions.com. Call now.
I see y'all put the link in there. Y'all go get his book.
You know you want some more. It's the voice of reason with Zoe Williams on KBLA Talk 1580.
You're getting a look at what my personal playlist sounds like. Now I'm on the 101. Going about 107 miles an hour. I'm trying to duck. I got somewhere to go. Ladies and gentlemen, my playlist is my co-host. This track is called First Responders. It's Terrence Martin, Robert Glasper, and the great Massey Washington. Man, y'all check it out, man. We turned up today. I see you looking at you.
Oh, I'm pulling Ice Cube over here. That beat, fool.
And listen, men have to come together in environments like this and have discussions more often. We're not going to always agree, but this is the environment, right? It has to be a little lax, and then we get a little deep, and then we get some music involved. Because sometimes we want to get so deep that, people aren't ready for it, and, it turns into something else. But these are the types of environments that I'd like to create for more men to open up and share how they really feel. Heru Ali, please, brother, wrap your thought here.
Absolutely. Listen, if you're going to kick against a prick in the biblical sense, if you're not going to be subject to me, unfortunately, you will be subject to thee. And the thee is the dominant society and those that try to invade this country, because I'm willing to die for you, but you don't value that. You only look at me as a convenience. Let's get down to the brass tacks. If you don't want to be submissive to me, a loving black man who loves you, who worships you as a king, queen, you are going to be subject to thee. Those who are only going to do the most dastardly, the most demonic stuff to you.
Let me just say this. Harold, let me say this. Wait, before you leave, Harold, let me just say, Harold, I love the way you kept yourself from cursing. We could hear it. Curse words were fighting to get out, and you. We love you, brother. Thank you, Battle Creek, Michigan, man. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Let's keep these callers rolling. Ronan, get in here right now. Right now. We got to make it quick. Let's go.
Hey, what's good, Tony and Zoe? What's going on?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
To your question, do black men suffer from the victimhood archetype? I believe when you allow yourself to become a prisoner of their perspective.
A prisoner of their perspective. Okay. I like that.
When it comes down to it, a lot of us guys are programmed not to find our personal narrative. And we start understanding that we're supposed to not just provide and protect, but we're supposed to problem solve and procreate. That's why we're split in half. We're trying to figure out, we're trying to be these puppets out here when you got to realize you were built to oppose environment, especially the negative environments that tell you not to be that fully realized man that you were meant to be. So that's why we get a lot of conflict within ourselves. But when you start stepping outside their comfort zone and you start writing your own script, you start opening yourself up to the world as you need to be. You start accepting your accomplishments as a man as growth, not being a puppet of preference.
Wow.
You start moving with purpose, and it helps ward off those Neanderthals and goofballs.
Ronan from Indianapolis, you brought your city in the building. We appreciate the call. We moving on. Tiffany from Atlanta, get in here. Keep it brief.
Speaking about a clip played earlier, there are black men out there who date outside of their race, and there are black men out there who put black women down as they date outside of their race, but black women, please, black women, mind your business. Just mind your black business, because to that extent, you done seen all over the news when these men getting murdered by these women, and then they family want to turn to us to uplift the community. Like, no, mind your business. These men are allowed to live their life and date who they want. And we, the black women race, we are not the one and done. I understand you want that, you want it. But baby, we are not the one and done. There are other women out here. Let them have them. Just let them have their pick, and you take your pick. Just mind your business. I love you, Zoe. Thank y'all. Have a good night.
Thank you, Tiffany. You brought Atlanta in the building. Let's keep going. Truemonger, Dallas, Texas. Make it quick.
Yes, sir. I appreciate this topic because a lot of what we were taught as men and nobody really cares about what you're going through. Just keep going. Do whatever you think you need to do. Nobody cares about what you may be going through. And it takes a while to break that and to get people to realize that you're trying to work on that. Even though it might just be part of you. Because we're all works in progress. We're always going to have something to work on. But at some point, you just got to be honest about what it is.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're going to do something to change it or if you're not. It's on you. Once you realize what it is, it's up to you what you do afterwards.
Absolutely. My brother, Tromonger, Dallas, Texas, is in the building because of you. Sean, you're the final caller. Oakland, California. Keep it brief.
Absolutely, brother. So here's a different take on this thing. So when you are meeting someone and you go through that whole physical thing where everything is going bright and shiny and you guys are just loving each other physically, right? That time wears down. Doesn't mean it can't be that way for a long time. But then here's what I say. What are the questions that you ask one another that you need to make that relationship last a long time? And I want to say this to everyone. Make sure you ask those questions, right? What is important to you? What will make this thing last a long time? Because the physical kind of stuff, as beautiful as it is, and as much as I love it, is a short-term thing. So make sure you figure out what you really want in a relationship for the long term.
Exactly. I appreciate you, Sean. We appreciate you brought Oakland, California in the building. We ran through 6 callers that quick. Tony, where can they find you? How can they support you? Your book is great. Tell them where to go get it.
So go to Amazon.com, type in Tony Massey in the search bar. All 3 of my books will pop up. You can also follow me, Tony Massey Cooks, on all platforms, Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok.
This was an amazing show. It flew by real quick.
I thought it was 2 hours, man.
Yeah, man. Hey, listen, I start the conversation, but it's your job to finish it. We don't have all the answers, but we sure do love starting the discussion. Please continue it out into the world, and tomorrow I will return with yet another banger. Deuces. Yeah. Give them a little smell good, because they got a whole nother show coming in right behind us. Yep. Great show tonight, guys. Appreciate y'all. Much love.